Hey y'all, welcome back. Episode 25 dropped and it's stirring all sorts of drama, romantic milestones, breakfast tension, and a whole lot of unresolved feelings. Hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell because this episode is about healing, chaos, and healing again. So we finally get to have the conversation of Taylor and Alandria after the heart rate challenge. And y'all, I'm afraid to say I think Alandria is still in it. They have a conversation, they're smiling. He admits that he wanted to kiss Alandria back when it was his turn, but instead, out of respect for Clark, he didn't. But, Alandria brought it up, like, I'm just confused on how after just 2-3 days, your feelings change. Taylor confessed, his heart was saying yes, Clark, but his head was saying yes, Alandria. And this time he went with his gut feeling. But he's still, saying that he's still open, and he still kind of wants to further their connection. But we're also with Clark in mind, which I don't see how he's able to do if you're doing one thing for one person and not the same for the other, especially the other who you've been locked down with since day one. So I don't know, but I'm afraid to say I don't think Alandria is fully gone off Taylor. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So Huda is having her boohoo moment about, the whole Shelly thing and Ace, and she's having talks with Chris about it, who she's currently paired up with. And, she's just expressing how upset she is that she made Chelley, and she really just wants to squash it. She loves her and all that. And then Chris is also like saying if Chelley's so locked in or saying locked in with Ace but also leaving the door open for me, like, I don't understand why she's upset with you. But honestly, Chris, just let the girls figure it out. Like, you don't know. Like, you don't know the extent of their friendship, what's happened in the past. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice he was there to comfort Huda, but his input, I don't think, is necessary because he doesn't know their full relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it's got to be something that happened for Chelley to be this upset. And if you're a person who is also exploring Chelley, you should try to at least understand what it may be. And Chelley did bring it up to Ace, she wasn't really feeling it. Ace even also agreed, like, he wasn't feeling it either. But I couldn't tell because he was fully into it. And, he said when he goes into the challenges, he takes it for what it is. It's a challenge. But he was more concerned about Chelley spinning the block on Chris because she made out with Chris and then came back and made out with him again. So now he's feeling some type of way that she did that. So I don't know if both are comparable. Like, I can understand to an extent, but like, Ace, you was like going in on every female there too. So I don't know. It could be a lot of jealousy maybe between what Chelley got going on with Chris, but this all just seems like hypocritical. Like, you both are kind of doing the same thing. So Huda finally pulls Chelley for a chat, and Chelley shuts it down as quickly before she could utter any type of sorry or apology. And I understand it. Like, Chelley, I don't think she's right now in a receptive mood to hear anything that Huda has to say. She has a lot of anger and frustration with the whole entire situation. And I think she feels deeply hurt because, when she even stated when Jeremiah was here, and I just noticed it too, Chelley didn't make out with Jeremiah in challenges or outside of challenges, like, at all, out of respect of Huda and how deep she was in with Jeremiah. So I think she just wanted that to be reciprocated to her. But a conversation is needed between the two because I don't think Huda is aware or looks at it that way. Like, Huda, I think, is just like, yo, it's just a challenge. Like, And that's all she looks at it as. So there definitely needs to be a conversation. I agree, though, the conversation should not be happening in the same night. Of course, Huda's going around trying to get some compassion from other people. Alandra kind of dismissed it a little bit, letting her know you did too much. But then her girl Maya came in, and Chris. They're just trying to cater to her feelings and make sure she isn't upset or anything. And I think Huda, maybe she is being just a little dramatic about it, because you aren't, I don't want to call anyone a victim, but like, she has an issue with you, and granted, you don't know what the issue is, but until you do, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing all this crying and getting worked up, and you don't even know what the issue is. So just chill. It'll let her have her space, and stop trying to make this about you, because right now it really isn't about you. I mean, yes, someone is at odds with you, but like, just relax. Like, she's doing too much. Another good conversation was between Nic and Elin, and Nic stood on business. Nic is tired of this man. He wants this man to go. He did not like how Elin pulled Cierra during that challenge and did the most for her on the heart, knowing where her connection is and who she's like really with. And Nic checked him. Nic checked him. I don't care what nobody said. Nic was like, "Hey, yo, you doing too much. I ain't messing with it. Like, you see where she at. You see where home is. And Elin, you have to let it go, sweetie. Like, you lost Sierra. You lost her the moment she noticed Nic was still there. So just pursue someone else and let them be. Like, they are happy. They are fine. It's time to throw in the towel." So it's breakfast time, and before I get started into this little scene, what happened to the basic breakfast? Because I feel like in prior seasons, it was just, avocado toast. And it's like a whole thing. Like, this breakfast stuff is serious about who's making whose breakfast, what they getting, and I just think, I don't know, y'all tell me, do y'all think it's a lot this season with the whole breakfast shenanigans? I don't get it. But anyways, Chris comes and brings both Huda and Shelly breakfast. And Huda wasn't feeling it, because Shelly got, I think, maybe 2 or 3 more pancakes than Huda and a flower on her plate. And Huda just got like 1 pancake and whatever else came with her breakfast. And you could see like she side-eyed Shelly. And I'm just like, this is what I was telling y'all before about a girl's girl. I never believed that she was. And she may low-key be hating on Shelly. I ain't gonna lie. That's what it was given. The way that she looked at it in the situation, and Shelly has a connection with both Ace and Chris, seemed a little fishy. I don't know. Y'all tell me. And she brings it up to Chris too, talking about it made her feel like the side John or whatever. And he was like, what? And this is just going back to, remember when Jeremiah messed up? What he messed up? Her pancakes, something. And she had a fit about it. It's something with this, I'm telling y'all, something with this breakfast thing, especially with Huda, she take it too goddamn serious. And you already knew this man's top connection with Shelly. So I don't even know why you're acting surprised. Granted, okay, maybe him adding a flower for hers and not for you, I could see, all right. But, like, he still made you breakfast. Like, oh, my, this child, she gonna run every man out if she don't just relax. But I guess he was more understanding than Jeremiah was giving her. He apologized, and, they brought up the whole Shelly thing again because she's just dying to have this conversation with her. And he's telling her, like, just give her space. She'll come around. And thank you. Please, tell your girl to calm down. Please. Because she's doing too much. Too much. But I'm not going to lie. As much as I have my mixed feelings about her, I think Chris may be a better fit. Because it seems like he just has more patience to deal with her. So we'll see. So they get a text and it's for Sierra and Nick, and they're being sent off on a private date, which is definitely very much needed for them. Like, they're one of the strongest couples here. So they did like a bicycle ride and had a picnic. They had some good deep conversations. And at the end of the date, they finally decided to close things off. So they are exclusive. They are our first exclusive couple. The door is no longer all open for Nick and Sierra. So all you Nick Landria fans out there, it's over. The man is cuffed. And I'm happy for them. Like, I do think they are a strong couple. I do see them in the finale night, at least top three. They've did a lot of work. They've explored other connections, and they kept coming back to each other. They had, rough spots, rough patches. I don't know if Sierra's completely off of the whole Nick and Alandria thing, or if that's going to come down later down the road because we still have movie night. But right now, they are good. And unlike Nick and Sierra, a couple that isn't so good right now is Shelly and Ace. They had a heated exchange over this whole Raise Your Heart challenge. Ace is still standing 10 toes down about how Shelly went about the whole Chris situation. And then Shelly's also like, you went kind of ham with all the other ladies. Now, I'm not going to lie. Ace did make some good points. I think it's different because Ace, yes, did he go full out with the other ladies? For sure. But Ace is not trying to explore anything else with those other ladies outside of the challenges. So to him looking at it, you're doing the most with this one guy. To him, in his opinion, you're doing the most with this one guy who you also want to explore a connection with. So where does that leave him? And I understand it to a point because Ace was doing his thing earlier on in the season too, with trying to explore other connections, him being with Amaya. And he almost was about to, explore something with Iris at one point. But I don't know. I think it's a lot of miscommunication. I also still think things are still hot from the night. Like, it was just last night. So things haven't had a chance to die down yet. But I don't know. Do y'all think the honeymoon phase is over between these two? Like, do you think that they'll be able to get through all of this? And Ace, goes and vents about everything that transpired between him and Shelly with Taylor. And Taylor's just like, once y'all get over this, y'all will be good. And I agree. Like, this could just be a small hiccup, and it's just going to take time to get over it. So it's nice that he has someone that he can also vent to because, Shelly has the girls. I just think everything is still high in emotions. Like, let things die out. So Taylor and Clark have a conversation, and Clark basically, thanks him for being respectful during the challenge, the kissing challenge, because I guess in her opinion, she felt like the whole Alandria and Taylor thing took it to another level. And Taylor gave her some reassurance, like, nah, I didn't want to, disrespect you or whatever. And he had that conversation with her of where he was at and why he chose the way he chose. But then Clark also asked, like, is he still going to explore his connection with Alandria? And he said yes. So baby girl, yes, you are in a love triangle. You are. You knew this coming into it. He never said he was completely done with Alandria to begin with. And I think maybe Clark had that expectation because he chose her at the last recoupling. But he's not closed off with you either. And again, their connection was somewhat strong. They worked on a lot. So I don't know where that leaves her. I do think, though, she is too locked in on Taylor, and she should also go and explore as well. Like, there are plenty of other men on here. Go explore. See what else, because if you get dumped, then you get dumped. And I'm happy my girl Landria ain't sitting there waiting for Taylor, and she is circling the block again with Zach. And I did like they were cute when they were in Casa Amor. So she went over. They had a nice conversation like they always do. There was a connection there. I guess Zach is more of a physical, intimate, person, and we know Alondria is a slow burner, but this could possibly work out. Zach is currently with Amaya, but he's even stating like there's been some distance between them two. And I think even Elon pulled Amaya for a chat and is trying there too. So this isn't a bad idea for Zach and Alandria. They had a connection prior to the recoupling. So I'm just happy she's putting her best foot forward and actually trying out something new. And she's not just hovering around waiting for Taylor to make a move. Like, you did what you could with that man. On to the next. So we have Huda and Chris, and I'm thinking things are about to take it to another level with these two. Like I kind of figured after that whole pancake drama, and her and him had that private conversation, and just noticing his demeanor around her, like he's very like catering to her. He even kind of like checks her like, yo, like when you gonna how you expect to have a husband and you want to do all this by yourself? Like, I think he is starting to feel her more and more. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go with Chelley. I'm curious about how that's going to turn out. But, he's saying he's stepping back from Chelley, and I think it's because of this whole Ace madness drama. So we'll see what's going to happen between Huda and Chris and what that develops into. And that's pretty much the episode. Like I said, this definitely set things in motion. Serious relationships. We had the petty kitchen drama and evolving villa alliances. So y'all let me know. Do y'all think Nic and Cierra's exclusivity is real love, or does it show like a side chemistry? And was the pancake move petty or revealing? So let's see who's next to step up or fall. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe to InDFlix, and ring the bell. Episode 26 is next, so stay tuned.